Hi, this is Mary Kay. Today I'm going to be painting pansies, or in this case, violas. I went to the nursery, Half Moon Bay Nursery, and got some. These are violas. I just want to show you that they have 3 petals on the bottom and 2 petals on the top. They have a center. This one has little lines. They have different colors. They have little orange there. I'm going to bring these to class so you can really look at them. This is the pansy. Pansies are bigger, but they have the same number of leaves. 3 leaves on the bottom and 2 leaves on the top. This is the, oh, look at, there's the dirt. That's good. I always like to be grounded. Here is the one that I'm going to paint. This is a viola. They're smaller. That's, I think, the only difference. They're in the same family. This one has, so there's 3 leaves on the bottom and 2 leaves that go on the top, and it has the center. This one's yellow with 2 purple leaves and then the 2 extra. This one, same plant, is yellow with white. Over here we have, oh, those are pretty. And then there's like this purpley, reddish, maroon, purple. So the trick is to look at something and then decide how can you paint it. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to be looking at basically this angle. That's the angle that we're going to have. I'm going to just sketch it very big and loose right now, recognizing that focal points need to be here, 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 or here. I'm going to make my focal point here, which is going to be the center of this flower right here. So I'm just going to I'm going to just put my little circle there. I'm just drawing with a pencil. That's my center. And then I have this, I'm drawing it much bigger than it is. Just a big, like, heart-shaped yellow leaf. And then from here, there's a purple one. It has some overlap. Here's another purple one. Comes, I think it goes actually behind. Both of those go behind the yellow one. And then there's these 2 bigger ones that come out here and here. So that's just my sketch, basic sketch of one blossom. And then I'm going to kind of move it around, and I'm going to pick over here. There's the center. This one comes down. There's these 3. And then the big ones. Oh, I drew this so big that, where am I going to put my 3rd one? I'm going to have to just tuck it in. Which one am I going to tuck? Maybe just this. Okay, I'm going to put it in behind. So I'm going to put my little center here. And this one's going to go, and it's going to go out the page too. Everything's going behind. This one's going behind. Oh. Oops, I missed this one. Here. And then this is littler. Okay, and then the big one here. And I want it to overlap. I want it to, yeah. They need to overlap. You need to have at least one overlapping. And there we go. That's the photo. Not the photo. That's my sketch. What I'm going to do is just start to paint each one of these. I'm going to just do one petal at a time. I'm going to wet it first. I'm going to start with yellow. The yellow that I use is Hansa Yellow Medium. the very center of this is orange, which I'm going to use permanent rose into a little puddle of yellow and make orange. The very center, this is orange. That's going to blend. I'm going to let everything blend petal by petal. And then I need to make this dark maroon. To me, it looks like French ultramarine blue and permanent rose. Let's see how close we can get with these two colors. Let's try some neutral tint in there. That's getting darker. Okay, it's got this reddish tint to it, so it's really got permanent rose in it. Oh, that's very close there. A little more neutral tint. Oh, that's pretty close. Okay, so now from here around the little orange part is this little purple, I don't know, this shape. It's shaped like the leaf. And what I want it to do is I want it to blend into the yellow. Just like that. That's one leaf. Now I'm going to rinse my brush. I'm going to make some pale purple, some pale violet. It can just be the French ultramarine blue and a little bit of permanent rose. That's good. So these two leaves, I'm going to do these at the same time. Petals, 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 petals. These are going to run if I touch. I'll just leave a tiny little white line there. And I'm going to do this one too. So this is the pale. Oh, you know, and I don't have to paint this perfectly. It can be a little sloppy. Maybe even the sloppier the better. Then I'm going into that dark purple again. Whoops, this is kind of bleeding all over. You know what? I don't mind it. It's very watercolory and pansy-like. Okay, then I'm going to do these two big outer leaves, and this is just very pale. Pale purple. I'm going to try not to touch that too much. The water's painting it. I'm going to try to leave a little dry piece of white paper. These two can kind of touch, it wouldn't matter that much. I kind of like that. Okay, now I'm going to move to this one. I'm going to do the same thing. This one is, so that flower there is that flower there. And now I'm going to paint this flower. So it's yellow. The bottom is yellow. So I should, I'm going to put it here. So this is yellow. This one's yellow. When you're painting these flowers, they just have to have some overlap. That is the secret. Now I've already made this once, so I should be able to make it pretty easily this time. It's 3 colors. French ultramarine blue, neutral tint, and permanent rose. Yep, went right to it. And I'm gonna put it here like that and make it, it's bleeding into the yellow, so it's really sort of just painting itself. Okay, and now very actually it's just such pale yellow. These two here. Oh, I've got, I didn't clean my brush very well, so it's got a little bit of yellow in it, or purple. Gonna need to have a yellow tub of water and a purple tub of water. I want more yellow in this. It's pale yellow. And then there is this purple right here. Oh, it just kind of takes off. Oh, I love that. Oh my gosh. This was dry right here, but when it hits the water, it just makes, I love that. And now I really am gonna, well, I have purple water, but I'm gonna take very pale yellow now. And just, it's not that pale. These leaves are. Okay. There's some shadow in these, which is the violet actually. So I'm just gonna put violet here where there's I see shadow. Very pale shadow in the leaves. And then there's some here coming up from here. That's going out. There's a little bit here, a little bit here. There's actually a little bit there. Okay, I'm gonna stop on that one. Now the third flower that I'm gonna do, I don't know which one to do because now they're all kind of, I think I'll just do that one as my third. So I'm starting that one off with yellow on this leaf. That's just pure yellow. My yellow is Hansa medium, Hansa yellow medium. I'm gonna put that so that it goes behind that one. This one has that tiny bit of orange here, the center. And now I'm doing that dark maroon purple. Just mixing it up quickly every time now. And it's gonna go from here to here. And then these other, the petals on this one are, I don't know if it's yellow or white here. So that's just the dirty water. And then I'm gonna take this purple. Oh, it did it itself. I just touched there and it took off. I think I'll just leave it like that. Okay, this is my dirty water. I don't know if you've noticed, but I didn't have a paper towel when I started, so I'm just not even using a paper towel, I'm just using my fingers. Okay. Okay, and then these two up here are the, oh, that one's not supposed to have that purple in it, but I touched it and it took off, but I'm just gonna leave it because the mistakes are the good parts. So there's my pansies, or violas. And now I just want to put on a simple background of green. So my simple green is going to be yellow and Antwerp blue. And I'm just going to, I'm not going to paint the individual leaves. I'm just going to put in a soft background that just kind of goes to nothing. kind of scribbly scrabbly. In here is actually a little darker, so I'm going to use more Antwerp in here. It just bled into that flower. I'm not going to worry about either of those because it's a watercolor. I'm just trying to capture the feel of these flowers. I'm not trying to get them perfect. I am, though, if I had the difference between this one and one of the earlier ones, I'd at least want you to be able to tell which one this came from. Okay, so if this is this color on this side of the petal, I need to have this same color on this side of the petal. And then it can change quickly as it goes out. I kind of like that. Okay, so then this color needs to be in there too. So that's just breathe. Holding my breath while I was doing that. Just gonna paint with water. Dipping my brush in the water and just painting out to the edge. Okay, I'm liking all of that. I think what I'm going to do up here is add a little more yellow to my green and make a lighter green. Am I going to like that? I don't know. What blue did I use? I've used both French and Antwerp, so I can use both French and Antwerp out in the background. I'm just trying to get it to change subtly. What would look good against those really pale petals? Well, this is my focal point, so I think I'm going to focus on this, and I'm going to come back up to this. I need to have this just go out to nothing right now. Then I can always put another layer over it. Okay. Let's see. I'm making you seasick. Okay, and then yellow. Alrighty. Once you stop with a hard edge like that, it's really hard to soften those edges when you've got a dry, hard edge. Painting with water. Gotta come down here. Right, I have a huge watermark. I don't mind the watermarks at all. In fact, when I cut up the paper, I take the page with the watermarks because most of my students don't like them. I think right in here would be a great spot for my name. So I'm just going to put a little more green paint in there. And take my bamboo signer and write out my name into the damp paper. Mary K. S. Jolly. And then I put a C with a circle around it for copyright. And now I'm going to stand up and look at it. I like the composition of the flowers. I like most of the background. If this is my focal point, I feel like it needs to have a little bit more pow right here. And then this probably needs to be a little darker around those pale petals. So I'm gonna fix this. I'm just gonna put a little more color around these pale petals so that you can see it's a pale yellow petal. Maybe I'll put a little more Antwerp blue into this, and it's kind of more like the sky, but when you paint your flowers, and you use whatever colors you use to paint your flowers, really that's the colors you can use in your background. You can't add a new color to your background because they'll just look out of place. We don't want it to look out of place. I'm just blending that in. Trying to anyway. I mean, you could throw a little salt on that background. So I need pop right there. And I think this was the flower that I was working on. How am I going to give that a little pop? I'm going to go in with some dark. And I'm going to make a little circle around that, at least most of it. And I'm going to make some little lines coming out of that. And then I'm going to add a little water and go more to my violet, or my purple. Blue and pink make purple. And just add a little bit more here and here. And that gave it some pop. I like that. Now I do feel like these kind of need a little more pop. They need a little more yellow. They have like this yellow center, but they have a dark part of that too. Then in the center, that little yellow, they have just like, it's almost green. Like a little green. Let's see what, oh, that's actually kind of painting itself. Maybe this dark purple thing. There we go. Okay. Now, I'm really pretty much liking the flowers. Could add some shadows to more of these petals. I could add a few more leaves to the background. Could do that by painting some negatives. I could just stop, and I think this is a good place to stop for the video, but I don't feel like it's quite done. I'm gonna just see what happens if I add a negative leaf right in here. So what I'm gonna do is get that green, making more green, and the green I'm making is Antwerp and yellow. And I'm going to pretend that coming out of one of these flowers, there's a leaf down here, and I'm going to paint around the outside of it. And they're sort of square. So I painted that, and then I'm just gonna make that outside of that disappear. So the leaf that I painted is the light part in between in here. That kind of worked. I like that. I like how that worked. I think I'm going to try maybe another one kind of right in here, just out like that. That's coming up in, it's coming up in behind. Where do I want to put it? I like that one. This would be an obvious place for another one over here. Like I said, they're kind of square in shape. I like what it made my name do. There's a leaf. Okay. I'm liking these leaves. Boy, they're fast too. Alrighty. I think maybe just like that out here. Okay. There's definitely some. Okay, I'm going to do one that goes in between here. It's going. See, that's the leaf that I left. That's almost a leaf on its own. I feel like I could do another one right in here. So, but just by going over the, if I have this color already, when I go over it becomes darker. So if I have another leaf right in here, so I'm just darkening this spot and this spot, and that leaves that leaf there. I can just put a little line down for the stem, not the stem, the you know what? I think I'm just gonna stop. Thanks for watching.